We've got a lot of dedicated employees that are members of our first responders, and again, it's a great way to recognize them on this particular day. At this time, we're going to move on to items to be received from the public. We have an item to come before the council. We'd ask you to come forward now, state your name, your address, and if you speak for a group or organization, identify that group or organization. We'd ask you to limit your remarks to 3 minutes or less. We'll give you a heads up at about 30 seconds left. Also, I'd like just to say that there are a couple of public hearings tonight. We have one relative to a rezoning, another one having to do with the Land Development Code, and a public hearing relative to the Land Development Code and some amendments. So again, if you're here for one of those items, we'd ask you to wait until that time to make your comments. But if not, and again, as you get to those items, you want to keep your comments to be relative to those public hearings, opposed to items that you might address in your petition to the public. At this time, if you have an item, we'd ask you to come forward, state your name, your address, and if you speak for a group or organization, identify that group.
Johnnie Cunningham, 1105 Branch Street, Rocky Mountain. Tall and tall. Rocky Mountain is booming. Rocky Mountain is growing tremendously. Industry is coming in. And sunny days ahead. But you have miserably failed the poor black community in Rocky Mountain. We are left out of the equation. We're not considered. We're exploited, we're used, we're abused, and we're counted for nothing, less than nothing. You have failed us. When, where, and how are you going to explain in that day when it said unto you, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity, for I never knew you? You would be speechless. But today is the day of salvation. That you have the opportunity today to include, to reverse the negative impact of gentrification in the impoverished community. You have 15 African-American black communities that suffer. Just last week on Arlington Street, 63-year-old man walking in his own neighborhood, murdered, robbed, left dead, laying in the street. 1 block from your new event center. 2 blocks from the city hall. 3 blocks from the police station. But it's normal. That's the normal occurrence. That is where you have led the poor black community in this city. That's where we're at. The youth in the community are robbing. APD Solutions warned you years ago that if you did not concentrate your efforts in these tangible, impoverished black communities, it's going to spread. And that's exactly what's happening. When you look at the statistics where the robberies are,
30 seconds, sir.
where all the theft is occurring now, it's outside of these impoverished communities. Again, today is the day that you must include the poor black citizens in your equation for them to prosper and not be exploited for your prosperity. And one more thing. This toiling for 30 years, standing here with the same conversation, the same issue, it drew me to one conclusion. I have a certificate that I would like to present.
Mr. Craig,
Matter of fact, you can have them all. That's a certificate, and it's a letter written by Mr. Penny that tried to prohibit me, Ms. Small, from standing here and speaking and saying what I just said.
I hate to cut you off, but your time's up.
And across the front,
I'll look at that.
It's entitled Certificate of Shame. It is shameful the conditions that black, poor,
Sir,
Rocky Mount
I
citizens
have to cut you off, I'm
exist
sorry.
today. Thank you.
Any other petitions from the public at this time?
Good evening. Louis Dancy, Second Vice President of the Rocky Mount NAACP. I stand here with a statement. Removal of the Confederate statue in Rocky Mount, September 11, 2017. The Rocky Mount NAACP requests that the Confederate statue that has been prominently displayed on the Falls Road corridor be removed and placed on private property where those who care to view it and meditate on its meaning can do so without impacting the larger population. Allowing these statues to remain on our main streets and highways, in public squares, and in front of courthouses and town halls tell everyone that Americans today publicly support the violent lynching, brutal rapes, and intentional splitting up of black families so that rich, white landowners and other people who sought personal gain at any cost would profit at another human's demise. This entire line of reasoning is unjust, evil, and delusional. For the above noted reasons, our organization, which was created by white and black, women and men, to fight and end the lynching of black men in 1909, opposed that thinking then, and we actively oppose it now. We ask the Rocky Mount City Council to remove the statue now. Again, I am presenting this. I am Camille Stanton II, Vice President of the Rocky Mount NAACP. And these are the copies of it.
Thank you, Mr. Dancy. Any other petitions from the public at this time? Mr. Turner?
Mr. Mayor, persons. Louis Turner, 158 South Washington. As I look through the agenda, I request that city attorney, city manager explain all of these development review things, how that changed, how it dovetail with the general statute, and how we are out of alignment, and what that's all about, so we'll understand what all this stuff is about. Thank you.
I'm Bronson Williams. I was at Chapel here earlier today, and I was riding down Martin Luther King Jr. Street. And I remember a couple of years ago, I asked this body to look at renaming a street in our city after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I think that has resonated to the highway markers being purchased and making that corridor the Martin Luther King remembrance. To me, that, of course, I think I said it then, I'll say it again tonight, that while I see the purpose behind it, I don't think that it is suitable for the great visionary, the man of unity that Dr. King was, that he did not drive through our city, but he was in our city, he was in the heart of our city, delivered the I Have a Dream speech right at the Booker T. Washington. So we see that the MLK Street connects 40, it connects the university, it is a connector in Chapel Hill, as well as in Durham, and all other streets across our this great nation. But in addition to that, I want to raise concerns about the delaying of decision makings when it comes to the removal of the Confederate monument. We see that cities all across the United States of America, including our own governor, is asking for, and I think taking action to remove the monuments on state properties, and we're still waiting for our Human Relations Commission now, based on the committee's whole meeting, to look further into this. I don't see what there is to look into. We know that it is a marker, a monument of division. We know that it's filled with hatred and racism. And how do we continue to allow such a symbol to shine again like a diamond in our city? It just behooves me that we would do that. So again, as I stated before, that with all deliberate speed, we look at the removal of such monuments in our community. On a lighter note, I did like the designs of the Rocky Mount Event Center. We believe that that will certainly be a point of interest for our community, and I like the whole. Okay, that the whole. It all happened. What was it? It was in my notes here. Oh, the center of it all. That branding piece is an amazing attribute for our city. I do believe that Rocky Mount is the center of it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Other petitions from the public?
Name Samuel Battle from 216 Old Street. I just came back from the federal system, and I was locked up with a lot of guys from Rocky Mount. And they upset with Rocky Mount right now. The city councilman, and everything else going on here. I was in Meadowbrook Park when they had the back school book bag drive. And I was talking to some kids out there, some gay men, Bloods and Crips. Kid came up from nowhere, Crip, confronted the other young man. I knew both of them. And the Rocky Mount police, about 17, 18 of them, stood back telling the kid, you know you aren't supposed to be here. The kid clowning them, joking at them, disrespecting them. And the police just sit back, ain't do nothing. 20 years ago, if I would have did that, I would have went to jail. Disorderly conduct, a lot of more charges. We are taking these kids for a joke out here. These kids are not joking. They need some type of help, some type of program. If you keep playing with these kids, they ain't gonna play with you. And I talked to a lot of them that's in the game. They say they need jobs, they need mentoring, they need money. If you take the gun out of their hand, you take the drugs out of their hand, you gotta replace it with something. These kids are not playing out here. You got a $50 million convention center coming here, and Holly Street and all that over there in the Parvis community. They coming there. They coming. And ain't nothing gonna stop them. And it's nothing I really can do about it. I keep pushing programs. I keep pushing that. Nobody don't understand. You gotta change their mind frame. If you don't change their mind frame, you ain't gonna change them. We got OIC. I don't see no game programs or nothing else. Andre, you gotta do something. Ruben, you gotta do something. Lamont, you gotta do something. Lawrence, you gotta do something. If y'all keep playing with these kids are not playing with you. They taking innocent lives over here. I was over there, rode past when the young man got murdered over there. Probably 2 hours later. These kids are not playing.
30 seconds, though.
These kids are not playing. They're not playing. They growing up with no father in the household. They're not playing. They getting these guns from somewhere I don't know where they're getting them from. And they shooting 30, 60 round clips. They're not playing. You got to give them some help. You got to give them some help. Thank you.
Thank you. Other petitions from the public?
Nehemiah Smith, 1620 East Virginia Street, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. My good friend, Mr. Battle, we work together in our communities to feed children. A lot of times we dismiss people because of how they say something, or because how they may look, or because of their backgrounds. We don't need to do that. That's how a lot of people did to John the Baptist, because he was a crazy man in the wilderness, but he was the forerunner for the one who would come to die for our sins. I've always believed that the only way for there to be true equity is for the process to provide for unfettered access. That has been the problem with the Rocky Mount Fire Department for a century. It's the tainted process. And it is as much an affront to my sensibilities to diversity as the Confederate monument is in one of our public parks should be an affront to anyone who claims to be an American patriot. If Chief Mike Warnell is unwilling to or bereft of the intellectual acuity to solve the problem, then perhaps he should look into retiring or be relieved of his current duties. Number two, there is this circular reasoning that purports, I didn't own any slaves, how can I be held responsible for the sins of my forefathers? And yet, in the same breath, those same people will defend the monuments of the Confederacy that glorify the legacies of domestic enemies, traitors, and slave owners. That said, the divisive monument located in our community must be removed. I have been reading the writings of and about the president of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis. I didn't want to take the revisionist histories that have been put out there. I wanted to read the words of someone who participated in the time period. And Jefferson Davis says of the Confederacy, he says, if I can remember it correctly, I'll probably paraphrase it, that should the Confederacy lose this war, on its tombstone should be written, died of a theory. Hindsight lets us know that, of course, the Confederacy lost,
You got about 30 seconds.
and the theory died with it. So why are we still maintaining monuments to dead theories? Doesn't make any sense to me. So let's take it down. Manager Small Tony, the last Senate manager, said that he was committed to repairing this ceiling and things in here. This council chamber was named for the first black city councilman, George Washington Dudley, who was my neighbor all of my life. I would hope that you would make sure that we get the funds directed so that we can fix the chamber so that it would be representative of Reverend Dudley. And last, I know my time is up, but I would like to say that I am black. I am proud of that. There's some things in the city that need to be fixed. But wherever I went in this world, wherever I have gone, and I've gone to many places all over the world, people ask where I'm from. And I've never said I'm from the Raleigh area, or from Durham, or from Wilson. I've always said I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And I've always been proud of that. I'm not poor, but I realize that the poor will always be amongst you. But I also realize that in our communities, in these black communities in our city, in any community in our city, that charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. We have to love ourselves, and we have to stop looking for handouts, because handouts is not love. It's just that handouts. We have to be in our communities and do for ourselves, and then look outward. Thank you.
Thank you. Other petitions from the public at this time?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm Randy Adcox, 3212 North Halifax Road. I was here 2 weeks ago and listened to some very eloquent, passionate speech from several members, some more tonight. And, you know, I don't doubt anyone's passion. I don't doubt anyone's sincerity. I don't doubt anyone's commitment. And I come here tonight in a spirit of compromise, because I think that's what we need as a city, as a community. It can't be one or the other. Let's face it. Let's be realistic about where we are. We can't take from one and expect the other to be happy. It's just not going to work. So we need a compromise. And I think a good compromise is to look at, with this Confederate monument, it means something to me that's obviously entirely different than what it means to the others here tonight. And I understand that. And I'm not going to try to change their mind. They're not going to change my mind. But because it does mean something different, I think we all approach this thing from two different standpoints. And it's important that we at least try to understand each other That's not to say I'm right and someone else is wrong or vice versa. It's important that we understand. That monument was erected in my mind to honor veterans. I'm a veteran. You can look at it and see any kind of thing you want, but that's what it means to me. Here's my compromise. That monument is sitting on an acre of land. Probably a little less than that now when they widened that road, it took part of that acre of land. But it's sitting on an acre of land. And it's sitting, frankly, on the edge of the acre of land. That land goes back up into the park a considerable distance. There's enough room on that remaining acre of land to move that monument back into the left, back toward the 64 overpass bridge, you know, they are talking about. It's wooded now, there's trees that are 50, 60 feet tall. We can move the monument back, turn it a little bit, carry it back up in there. You never see it unless you wanted to go see it. You could park in the parking lot, get out of your car, walk the walking trail, and there's your monument. For those that don't want to see it, it's hidden, it's out of view. In a few years' time, if we plant trees in front of it, it would hide it from the front, and it literally would be out of view unless you wanted and chose to go see it. I think it's a logical compromise. By the way, right now, state law is pretty clear on this. We can't touch that monument. When I say we, I mean the city of Rocky Mount. State law says the Historical Society's got control over it. They're not going to bend on this issue, so right now the city of Rocky Mount really has no control over that monument. I'm sorry to say, but that's a fact. Okay. So rather than butt heads on this, we got to take a proactive stance. We can be a compromised position. If the city's going to spend any money at all, let's spend some money looking at what it would take to move it, get it out of public view, and satisfy both groups. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other petitions from the public? If not, the public petition portion of the meeting is closed, and we're going to go on.